Guys, I see chem students making this mistake way too much and it needs to stop. Hi, my name's Catherine. I'm a former VC chemistry teacher and textbook author, and now all I want to do is to share with you everything I know. On the left, you see a galvanic cell. On the right, you see an electrolytic cell. Now, what a lot of students do is they know galvanic cells really well. They say, yep, the anode is negative, the cathode is positive. And then when they start learning electrolytic cells, they think everything is reversed, and therefore all of the reactions are reversed. So for example, the negative thing at the cathode is now going to be oxidation, and it's just not like that. What you need to understand is the definitions of the anode and the cathode, and what occurs there never changes. So at the anode will always be oxidation, at the cathode will always be reduction. But the polarities will change because of the type of reaction you've got. So on the left, you've got the galvanic cell, which is a spontaneous reaction, which means it drives itself. It doesn't need extra external energy to do that. And so the electrons will be driven out of the anode where oxidation occurs. So that's why it's negatively charged, over towards the cathode that sort of gains the electrodes, right? For electrolytic cells, as you know, you have to provide a power supply because it's a non-spontaneous reaction. You have to force it to happen. Now, out of the power supply, electrons are forced out of the negative electrode. So the negative electrode, it's going to be forced towards an electrode that's going to accept and gain those electrons, which is the cathode here. Now, since that electrode is connected to the negative terminal of your power supply, it is negative, and vice versa. So looking at the anode then, now it's positive. But the reactions at each of these electrodes does not change. So at the positive anode in an electrolytic cell, oxidation will occur. At the negative cathode of an electrolytic cell, reduction will occur. So the reactions that occur at the type of electrode never changes, but the polarity will change because of the nature of the reaction that's occurring.